Well, we're going to make some homemade mayonnaise, and a lot of people are worried about making things like mayonnaise, but really it's quite simple. The first thing, and I've pre-done this, you crack the egg and you separate the white from the yolk, and the yolk is now in the blender. And the next thing we've got to do is add a little bit of water, 1/2 of a shell, and there's the water gone. And the next thing we do is we have a mixture of balsamic and ordinary white vinegar, and that's in a little cup, and we just swizz that round. And we're actually going to add again our measure, which is the egg. We just tip that in, and we want 1. Actually, it's 1.5. Okay, and a lot of people like a little bit of lemon juice in the mayonnaise. All I've done here is I've taken 1/3 of a lemon. I popped it in the microwave for about 20 seconds so it actually releases the juices easier, and I just squeeze that in, and we've now got our acidity happening. So we're just going to give that a little bit of a spin round, and I want to talk to you a little bit about the oil I'm going to use. I'm a real olive oil man. There's no other oil in the world worth eating, in my opinion. But this is a light olive oil, so it's a little bit lighter than the full olive oil that you get, which is cold pressed virgin olive oil. Okay, so now you can see in here, we'll turn the noise up a little bit. Okay, so we've now amalgamated all our basic ingredients for our emulsion, which is going to become mayonnaise. So we've got the egg yolk, the water, the balsamic vinegar mixed with the ordinary white vinegar, and then we've added a little extra lemon juice and given it a spin. Now we're going to gradually add the oil, and slowly to start with, and then gradually we'll increase it until the viscosity increases, and then we've got mayonnaise. One other little trick, and that is to add a little bit of salt and sugar. Alright, so just ordinary sugar, about a teaspoonful, and we plop that in. And then a little bit of this fancy salt. We could use any salt, but we're going to be posh today, and really just want a few of those beautiful crystals, and I'm only going to add 1/2 of that amount. Got too many there. So we've got a little bit of salt, a little bit of sugar, and now we start to add, gently to start with, just a little drip of oil, and we turn up the volume. So I'm going to stop talking now and we'll get into the action. So you can see I'm adding it very, very slowly to start with. And this is forming a basic emulsion, and as we add more oil we'll actually see it thicken. The viscosity will increase until it's like thick whipped cream. And as we continue, we can slightly increase the amount of oil going in. Okay, as we now are going a little bit faster as the emulsion has formed, it's starting to get thicker, and I can actually increase the flow rate of the oil. Then let's give it a time to amalgamate. You can already see by looking down how it's thickened. And we don't have to measure the oil, we just keep adding it until we get that nice creamy consistency. 2 egg yolks, 2 cups of oil, just approximately. Now I'm very famous and the phone's going as I'm doing this, so ignore phone calls coming in. You've got to be concentrating on what you're doing. And there we have a beautiful mayonnaise. It's shiny, looks fantastic, and really we don't have to go any further than that. We have got homemade mayonnaise. So on tasting it, we've got to really then detect whether it's a little bit oily, a little bit more mixing. If it's a little bit acid, add a bit more sugar. If it's a little bit rounded or sweet, add a little bit more vinegar. The real flavour will happen in a few hours' time, and even better tomorrow. The stability will keep for probably 2 weeks. The reason it will keep is because it's got salt and sugar and all good ingredients, all wrapped up tidily in a beautiful emulsion, which we're going to call homemade mayonnaise. Now you can use other oils. You can use canola oil, sunflower oil, but I like olive oil. So there we are, job done. A beautiful homemade olive oil mayonnaise.
causes